Hey folks, welcome back to WarThunder. I know it's been a while. Today we're playing the FGR.2 in a sim operation on the Korea map, and I'm just going to basically run you through post-commentary what I was actually doing and thinking, and paying special attention to the radar and that kind of thing, because I feel like a lot of people ask me about the radar constantly. There's not really any guides on it, how it gets used, or in-game applications and everything like that, so we're just gonna focus on it pretty much. So old game, this is from like 8-9 weeks ago, but I had the edit mostly completed on my hard drive, so I'm just gonna basically finish this video before we move on to anything else. So right after takeoff, I can visually see 2 targets ahead of me, and there was an enemy blip on the radar. So I know at least one of them is enemy. But I know from experience that on this map you quite often get bomber AI that are very low rank and basically not a threat whatsoever. So we're just going to close in and see if we can't pick up anything more interesting. I can hear a jet passing me, and although you won't see it on the footage, I do actually spot a spec, so I'm turning around to engage that now because it came from the enemy lines, so I'm like 90% sure it's going to be an enemy fire. Closing in on the spec, and we see 2 specs ahead, and the radar tells me that they are both enemy. Enemy are marked by a single dashed line, a horizontal line. The vertical lines that you'll have seen are to mark which target is selected by the radar. That target ahead is a big AI bomber, not a threat, so we're going to turn on to the fire. I can tell it's a fire because it's manoeuvring at much higher speed and the spec is actually smaller. You probably won't get that level of detail from a YouTube video, but I can tell, and it looks, now I'm close enough I can visually acquire it as a mirage. I know that it's enemy because of the radar, so I'm just going to let a missile off. Long hang time, but we got him. Confirm Mirage 3C, and he is dead and out. Another PS4 player. Obviously in Sim, and also with RB since a recent update, there's actually no missile warnings, and in Sim you don't get any kind of visual aid whatsoever. If you have RWR, then your radar will tell you you've been radar locked, but there's no such warning for missile launchers, so you do have to keep your wits about you. So I've got a spec ahead, which the radar has just marked as a friendly with 2 dashes, so I'm going to turn off that. You can just see it marking the 2 dashes there. So I've got 2 enemies ahead. So I know that this is an enemy from the radar and it's turning into me. Visual ID says a MiG-19. Not sure if he's aware of me or not at this point. He must be by this point because he basically just had his nose on me, and he'll have definitely heard me by now as well, but perhaps he's struggling to visually acquire me. The thing about Sim is that your hardware matters quite a lot to your ability to, well, fly well. And I'm not saying that you can't fly well without head tracking or a joystick, but the amount of an advantage that they give you in terms of situational awareness is it's huge. And the amount of practice that has to go into it using non-head tracking to look around, you just have to multitask so much more, and having head tracking just takes the weight off. There were about 4 contacts that we just passed underneath just then. I'm just going to keep focusing on this MiG-19. Missile out, but he pulls a hard turn right before it gets to him, and it's just enough to bleed the missile's energy off so it doesn't connect. I actually have this guy locked up with radar because it allows me to get a missile lock slightly off bore, and because I know through visual ID that it's a MiG-19. I know he doesn't have a radar warning receiver, so there's no worry with me locking in with radar because he won't know that I'm doing it. If this was an F-4 or a MiG-21, then I probably wouldn't go for a radar lock because they would be notified by the IWR. I don't think he ever knew I was actually behind him, apart from maybe with that first few turns, but I'm pretty sure he lost me after that. Just disengaging away. Some sort of fight going on there. Looks like a Vautour chasing a friendly. Keeping eyes on the Vautour. There's a lot of other stuff happening, but I'm just kind of ignoring all that. Everyone seems quite low and slow and turning or damaged, so I don't feel like I'm particularly threatened. If you keep hearing me drop flares, it's because I just rebound all my keys and I was getting my missile lock and my flare keys confused. Managed to clip the Vautour's wing with the gun there. It's our third kill, I think. Still got one missile left. I actually just realised that I'm carrying bombs. Ah, it's a Vautour again. Visual ID. There we go. Accidentally dumping flares instead of turning the missile spool on. I know from the fact that I just killed this guy that it's definitely an enemy and he's going right for a friendly base. Another easy kill, I think it was the same guy. So, no anti-air missiles left. So the radar here, there's a lot going on in front of me, but it's not picking up anything, and I see a Mirage there, and I've killed a Mirage already, so I'm thinking that must be the bad guy. But that other one is a MiG-19S, and I was focusing so hard on the Mirage that I didn't realise this. This is actually a mixed battle, which is very rare in Sim. That means that the MiG is the enemy. I could have potentially gun killed him if I'd actually noticed that earlier, or if the radar had picked up. A lot of people will think that the radar is just bugged or not working correctly, but it only works under ideal circumstances, and super close range isn't an ideal circumstance. If you want to pick out something on radar, then flying low and looking upwards at it is the best way to get a return, because it limits the ground clutter by you not looking downwards. And the more sky there is as a backdrop, the easier it is for the radar to pick out a target. Still manoeuvring on this MiG-19. With the bombs on, this is an insanely dangerous manoeuvre, but I did not realise that I had the bombs on at this point. I must have kept selecting the 4 missile 4 bomb loadout with the intention of dropping them, but I must have just completely forgot that they were even there. It's a true testament to how powerful the FGR is that even with 4,000 pounds of bombs strapped to me, I can't actually tell that there's a performance hit because the engines are so obscenely powerful that 4,000 pounds is practically a negligible weight. So that MiG-19's turning in on me now. That's something else, not sure, but I'm just going to extend away. I know it's a MiG-19S because I've encountered him before. I know he doesn't have missiles, so as long as I stay more than a couple of kilometres away, I'm safe. And the Mirage just killed him anyway, so we're good. Gonna go and land because we don't have any missiles left. Can land at a pretty high speed in the Phantom. Flaps and gear are good from about 300 miles an hour, so long as you're decelerating quickly, because, you know, they'll rip off eventually at that speed, but because you'll be slowing down, it's sort of alright. And you can land very heavy because of the naval landing gear. So no need to watch all of that, and we're back up. Still got the bombs on, still haven't noticed. Gonna go for a quite reckless little bridge fly through. Very close to skimming the ground there, but we got away with it. So, specs up ahead, let's check the radar. We closed in, and this thing that you just seen go supersonic ahead of me is actually an F-104. I haven't realised that yet. And the F-104 is chasing something else, which ends up being a Sabre. Radar is pinging the target directly ahead of me as enemy, but it's not seeing the thing closer to my left. Because the far target is enemy and the closer contact is also following it, I'm assuming that's friendly. And I actually just saw the thing fire a missile on my target, which confirms even further in my mind that it's a friendly. Missile out on the radar contact. Confirmed as an enemy saber, and we just get close enough for the friendly marker to pop up on that F-104. Radar contact up ahead, I can see the spec as there it is on the scan look, and I've actually locked it up. It's coming at us, so I'm going to engage the burner for a full turn so we don't bleed off as much speed. Throttle down so we don't overshoot because we're getting a bit close. It looks like a MiG-15, something pretty low BR. Practically a free kill. He would have never even known I was there. No warning from the radar logs, he doesn't have RWR. Radar contact off to our right hand side. Oh, I see the spec ahead, so radar confirmed that this is enemy. It just went supersonic. There's another spec low. Not sure if that was a radar bug or not, but we've got something else showing on the radar now, so this is enemy 2. F-4 turning in, I might get a gunshot here. I suck with the gun on this thing. When I was coming in on that thing, you might have noticed that I have the radar set to a narrower scan. It will actually tell you on the radar interface what the scan angles are, and the scan angles are to an extent, at least on the horizontal axis, displayed by the width of the radar itself. So when it was like a narrow beam, you're actually scanning a narrower window. Like I said, I suck with the gun. I'm trying to turn fire with an F-4, which you can actually successfully do in the FGR, but not when you've got bombs on. And like I said, I haven't noticed that I've got bombs on, so it's not going well for me. But anyway, back to the radar scan angle thing. If you want to pick up a target and you can't, if it's low altitude or if you're having to nose down and get the terrain clutter fucking everything up for you, then if you narrow your radar scan, then it can work like a bore sight mode. Loose a missile off on that guy. It inverted. It does explode, but not sure if it was close enough to actually do damage or not. And my RWR is pinging from the gyro gun sight of that guy, which is an F-100. He actually clipped one of my elevators off, damaged my left wing. Still have the bombs on, still haven't noticed. Manoeuvring with him to stay inside him so he can't easily turn around and get back on me. F-34 is not really a threat if we're pulling vertical manoeuvres in an FGR. Once I'm clear of this turn, I'm just going to zoom away, because an F-100 will never catch me on the deck in a straight line. And I can just dump flares the whole way so that he can't get a missile on me. Oh, that was close. So, turning back in. If he's turning back in too, then the second he's clear of me, I'm just going to extend away. And we're gone. Backed off to the airfield and had some friendlies come in chat. And I'm still checking behind me, I'm not sure where he went. And here's the runway. And there goes the F-100. Just got splashed by a Mirage missile. So I'm clear for landing now. But yeah, if you bind keys to change the radar scan pattern, I'm not sure what the binding is called, but as I said before, if you're struggling to pick stuff up, if you narrow the scan, you've got less chance of there being clutter come up, because sometimes it actually narrows the vertical scan as well, which means that it's looking less at the ground, which means that you can actually look further ahead without the ground clutter even being a thing. And quite a few planes will actually have a bore sight mode where you'll see a square green box appear. And that green box is basically visualizing what the radar is looking at, so everything within that box is part of the radar's cone. So you can quite easily tell whether it's going to be getting ground clutter or not. So just bear that in mind when you're trying to lock stuff up. So we're back up, radar contacts up ahead. Three friendlies I think in an enemy. Yeah. Locked up the enemy. It's high altitude. Still haven't noticed that we've got bombs on. Notice that we are gaining speed in a climb with 4,000 pounds of ordnance loaded. The FGR is just fucking disgusting. This is the FGR.2 by the way. I haven't been playing recently enough to have unlocked the FGR1 yet. So actually locking with radar allows you to get a missile lock without having to be directly nose on the target, which can be handy for pulling the missile lead ahead of the target as you're locking them up. Without the radar you'd have to line up on the target nose on and then pull the lead for the missile's launch afterwards. But locking them up means that you can plot the lead on your approach vector and lock them up simultaneously without ever having to actually point your nose at the plane. But here, because of the cloud, the closure rate and the angle, the missile wouldn't hit anyway, so I don't launch it. But we are close enough now to confirm that that is another Phantom. I don't remember if it's a US one, I think it's an F-4C. He's diving through the clouds. I'm really not sure if he ever even noticed that I was here or not, because he doesn't do a whole lot to save himself. I'm trying to dump my bombs here, so I must be finally aware that they actually are there. And Mach 1.1 dive here. 1.15. 1.16. We're spooling the missiles. Fox 2. Splash. And we just got locked up by radar. That's the RWR ping going off. So when you get locked by RWR, you know it's either an enemy locking you up with their radar to give themselves an easier missile solution like I was talking about before. They could just be getting it to get your closure rate information and speed and things like that. Or it could be a gyro gun sight with the auto locking thing. If they get close enough, like with the F-100 earlier, the radar gun sight, the ranging radar gun sights, will also set your RWR off. So it could mean that there's something close enough to you to get guns on. So high speed, check your 6, maneuver. It was a MiG-21, he didn't manage to get a shot off, no idea why. He might not have unlocked missiles yet. I can't understand why I'm alive otherwise. MiG-21 outclasses the F-4 in a dogfight in every conceivable way, except its gun is so hard to use that I consider it a drawback. So he overshot and we managed to get one missile off that missed. Second one clips him but doesn't kill him. I'm really not sure what damage that actually did. We have one missile left. My approach to this engagement is honestly a bit sloppy because I should have really been keeping my speed up because it's unclear what damage I did to him, but I assume that I did some sort of damage to his engine because his speed seems to be dropping far more than it should for the manoeuvres that he's doing, and he isn't attempting to follow me anymore. He's just bugging out straight for his runway, and I really idiotically fuck up this missile shot because this would have been a free kill if I'd waited a little bit. But he's back at his base now and I really don't want to get mulched by his AAA, so I sprayed a bit. They looked very close but I didn't get any hits and I'm just going to bug straight back out. I did drop the bombs after he when I was when he was on my 6 and I was clearing him, I ditched him to help me maneuver. I'm on my way back to base and I see an F-4 ear friendly getting tailed, and this ends up being my downfall. It transpired after this that it's a mirage, it's an enemy mirage, and his engine's actually dead, so he's just gliding after this guy at this point. I have no missiles, so I'm closing in for the gun. I've got the radar on the narrow beam look, so I'm trying to pick him up to confirm it's enemy, even though I know in my head anyway, but you know, just so you get a visual idea of what I'm doing. And we're getting closer now. Hard to judge the closure rate because I can't get him to show on radar, and I just suck with this gun anyway. As I said, that Vartor kill I got early on was honestly a bit of a miracle. But I fuck this up, and it properly looks like he's just going to crash into the ground, doesn't it? So I just go over the top of him, and he must have timed that shot so fucking perfectly.
Wow.
I basically killed myself by flying in front of him, but I thought he was basically dead, so I thought I was alright. Kicked myself so hard for that. But yeah, so 7 kills we got total this game, and then died in the most stupid way ever. It would have been a perfect run otherwise, because I think the game ends pretty much right after he dies, because he's the last player. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, folks. Hopefully that, I know I wasn't focusing too hard on like slowing the footage down and zooming in on the radar and highlighting stuff and all that kind of thing, but hopefully just like seeing it fluidly happen in real time kind of helps you piece things together a little bit more. You can always leave a comment and ask questions if you have anything else to, you know, if you want me to clarify anything. But yeah, the whole in-depth kind of editing style is not really my bag right now. Don't have a lot of free time, and there's still a lot of things about this editor that I don't fully understand. But hope you enjoyed the video anyway. Thanks a lot for watching. If you did, leave a like and a comment and all that jazz. Sub for more, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.